That's why I'm here. So there you go. Have a good dancing as well. So yeah, just the week that was. Start off with some kind of scandemic related stuff. I don't know if you've heard of the doctor called Andrew Kaufmann. There's a couple of really good videos that he did during the week. There was an interview with a guy called Bob Unger, that's just a U, no H, who's a well-known kind of New York lawyer. And then he did another one with a guy called Del Bigtree, who's quite a well-known investigative journalist in the States. Both excellent interviews. I mean, almost a reiteration, you know, there wasn't that much difference between the two interviews, to be honest, because, well, truth is truth, isn't it? You know, there's no variation on the truth. It is the truth or it's not the truth, basically, all right? So for me, he was the scientist stroke medical person that alerted me to the fact of the degree of bogusness around this, basically. He found out, and he categorically stated, that a new virus was not isolated post-Wuhan, that it was never tested, according to Koch's postulates, to ascertain that there was a new disease, which is the golden standard for any new disease. It was never ever done. And then he went on to talk about the PCR test, which is the test they're now using to talk about these spikes in infection rates in Leicester, Oldham, my hometown, Batley, Grimsby, Dunfermline, wherever. Again, all bullshit. The reason why it's bullshit is because the guy who invented that test was a Nobel Prize winning scientist called Kary Mullis. Now, Kary Mullis himself said that this test should never ever be used for diagnostic purposes. Its purpose is to monitor the efficiency of any course of treatment. So a completely different purpose. And what Kaufmann said, I think in one of the interviews, is that if you get one of those testing kits, there's an insert, like there is with all medications basically. And on that insert it states, should not be used for diagnostic purposes. Now, if that's the case, why is it being used for diagnostic purposes? He said the reason why it is because it's notorious, and Kary Mullis himself said this, and this is why he warned people from using it as a diagnostic tool, that what it does, it records a massive number of high positives, which then leads to that notion that there's a rampant infection out there, when in reality there isn't. And that happened exactly with the first SARS outbreak, which I think was in 2003. It was notorious for saying that people who were healthy, asymptomatic, nothing wrong with them whatsoever, were positive for this so-called killer virus. Again, absolute cobblers, basically, yeah? So, try and watch the videos if you can, easy to access. It should be on YouTube, or it should be on Andrew Kaufmann's website himself, or Bob Unger, or Del Bigtree, I think the name of his website, or his Highwire? Highwire, that's it, thank you, yeah? So that's it, so that's the COVID-19 stuff. And I wanted to thank John in particular, actually, for some of the talks he's done over the last few weeks that I've been listening to. John talks a lot about the Q stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of information. It can appear very overwhelming because it deals, Andrew Kaufmann dealt with the what, the when, the how, and he's talking about people like Fauci and Gates, the who. But there's always that question of why. What was the purpose of all this? Was it some kind of random event? How much of it was true, how much of it wasn't? Was there a degree of uncertainty around it? Should we still be careful? Now, when you start to look at the Q stuff, basically, and like I said, me myself, you know, it can appear quite overwhelming, but what I think it does, it gets to the very heart of darkness, basically. And it talks about the fact that humanity has been subjugated by a certain group of people, that it all sounds like, you know, well, weird stuff, and I guess it is, but then it starts to make sense. Yeah. It starts to shift your mental paradigm, because the facts then start to fit the narrative. Because you're thinking, well, these random events like paedophile priests, etc., what's all that about? Is that just down to celibacy? You know, are they kind of behaving that way? But no, it's not because of that. It's because that is an institution that facilitates and promotes paedophilia, basically. And the Q stuff talks about the fact that what they call the cabal, or the deep state, or it used to be the Illuminati when Beyonce was riding the charts. I quite like dancing actually. Not well, I used to, not now.
You don't know what you like it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've made that mistake before, to be honest. You know what I mean?
I've all been tagged.
But that's the story. That's the story for another time, you know. So yeah, the deep state basically, and what came through on this Q interview that I saw, that there was 3 major arms of that deep state cabal. The ones who have subjugated humanity, definitely over the last few decades and beyond, centuries, even millennia, basically. At the moment, the Federal Reserve, which is the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, etc., all the money people, the banking system, the Vatican themselves, paedophilia, under the guise of spirituality, basically. Millions.
Yes.
Yeah, millions. Yeah, millions of followers, millions of believers, people who are beguiled, people who are hypnotized, people who want to be led by certainty. But underneath that certainty is a rank evil. And I'm not a particular biblical person. My dad was a socialist and we shied away from that stuff, to be honest. But now I can see that there is a quintessence of evil amongst us. And this is what we are here to fight against. We are representatives, we are children of the earth. We should be guardians of the earth, and we should be creatures of the light. That doesn't mean we're not going to be flawed. That doesn't mean we're not going to make mistakes. That doesn't mean we might drink 1 or 2 many beers. We might do all that, but we are still creatures of the light. That's the purpose, basically. We are here to fight against that, okay? So there's the Vatican, and then our own beloved, and excuse me if I have reflux when I say this, the Windsor family. Yeah, I did. I refluxed. I tried not to. I couldn't quite stop myself. Yeah. Yeah, the Saxburg, 1917. Thank you, friend. The name was changed from Saxe-Coburg to Windsors. It's propaganda, basically. Absolute propaganda. It's to sort of appease, placate, control the serfs. That's what they've done, and that's what they're still doing now. There's actually an article online today about Princess Beatrice's secret wedding at Windsor, and she's married. Yeah, I did. Well, I bought the sandwiches. Spam. That's all they're going to have. They're just going to have spam. You know what I mean? But anyway, so there's a secret wedding apparently. You'll be glad to hear. In fact, I know you'll be delighted to hear that both Madge, the Queen herself, and Phil the Greek were both there. Apparently the Queen wore a turquoise outfit. She looked fantastic, to be honest. You know what I mean? So we've got the FDR for the money, the banking system. They've got the Vatican for spirituality, the believers, enthralled to them. Okay, I got you. See, that stuff I don't know. Yeah, I'm learning about Q, man. Yeah. All right. You want to speak after me, man? No, you can speak after me. No, you need to get up here and speak. Yeah. We all need to speak. We don't want people to keep their mouths closed because well, you're not here. But it's got to be inclusive and it's egalitarian. Everybody should have an opportunity to voice their opinions. And even if we disagree about things, we're not always on the same page. It doesn't matter because our primary reason for being here is to fight against those people. And it's for our kids, it's for our grandkids, it's for their futures. And I want to be sitting in the deck chair drinking margaritas. You know what I mean? Listening to good music. I don't want to be sort of worried about reptilians and lizards and Prince Philip, but if I've got to do it, I'm going to do it, basically. I will fight it, okay? So thanks again for Q. Ghislaine Maxwell, one of the kind of prime movers in the child murder, child abuse, child trafficking. She was a facilitator of that, an abuser herself, an enabler, okay? Rank person, beyond belief. You're talking human effluence, basically, yeah? She was arrested, as you probably all know. Yesterday she was denied bail, so there will be a trial pretty much in a year's time, just under a year. So obviously that's going to take them a while to prepare all the evidence, all the information. But hopefully if she stays alive, and let's hope she does, they've got her in a pretty dodgy prison at the moment. So obviously there'll be risk around that. So let's hope they all do their jobs and make sure that she arrives in court this time next year. All right, so that's Ghislaine. And I don't know how many of you remember that kind of maxim, think globally, act locally. All right. Obviously, we are the Glasgow posse. I'm a Mancunian, Manchester representative, but you know, I can wear a bit of tartan if I have to. I don't mind. I'll even toss the odd caper, whatever. You know what I mean? So, I think what we need to do, and Colin mentioned this, and some of the others at the end of last week, when Scottish Parliament reopens, and I'm not quite sure, is that September? Is it?
September.
We'll go down there, meet up, talk, say our word, let Oban Gruppefura Sturgeon hear what we've got to say about compulsory mask wearing and why poorer people on public transport have to wear masks. And now there's all this bullshit about wearing a mask in a shop because that's the only place that the virus exists apparently, is on packets of cornflakes. You know what I mean? Weird, really weird, but not in offices and not in parks. So we need to get down there. We need to make sure our voice is heard. There doesn't need to be a lot of us, you know what I mean? Quality is always better than quantity. And I don't mind being part of the vanguard. I find it very, very inspiring. We're all different, we've all got things to say, we all make a contribution. We've all got strengths, and I know I've got weaknesses too. Okay, but we're here for that common purpose. All right, as much as I love the sound of my own voice, I'm going to shut up now. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Well done.